And it was just when I thought I would never get another Del Sol again. Here we are. As you guys just saw, hopefully you enjoyed those little cinematics. I had fun making those. But yeah, as you saw, I now have here. That was a little too much creamer. Whoops. So yeah, that Del Sol. We got some stuff to do to it. But here's a catch. Technically, has my last name on it. But also technically, my brother and I obviously share the same last name. So yeah, it's actually his car. I am just going to be helping him put it back together because he just bought a house. Well, I'm sorry, he didn't buy a house. He just got approved for a house and is just going to be moving in. He's got a lot going on between his business, between his my niece, who is like 7 months old now. Obviously, you guys with kids know how much those are to handle. So yeah, between work, like his business, his daughter, moving now in the next couple weeks, the Del Sol, now that the engine is assembled and everything, which we'll go over that, he just does not have time or the tools or space right now to put it together. So I was like, you know what, trailer it over to my house, like we'll just rent a car dolly, bring it on over. I'll assemble it, it'll give me some content, and we can, you know, I can just put my touch on it and have some fun with it. Speaking of which, there was a couple comments on my last video when I was making some coffee in the B-roll, and one of the comments was like, bro, that's not even coffee anymore. It's like, why y'all care so much about how I have my coffee, how I do this, how anybody online does anything, you know? Coffee is coffee. Normally, honestly, mine's a little bit darker than this. I accidentally just poured too much creamer because I was trying to focus on speaking and looking at the camera and all that crap, but why does everything anybody does on a YouTube video bother you guys so much? Learn to mind your own business. You might be a little bit happier. The things I do behind the scenes and the equipment that I use, no matter how subtle, to try and get better lighting and better effects in the shots. No, for real, I bought this light ring just for the lulz. I do use it every now and again for videos, like when I really need a light, but this is one of those times because, you know, I got the light coming from out there that makes it look weird. I got that halogen yellow light right there and it just made my face look funny, so the ring light comes in handy for stuff like that. Some of you guys may think I take my YouTube videos a little too basic or make them super simply, and for the most part, yeah, I keep my videos relatively simple in editing and stuff, but it's little things like this, like the ring light that, shut up, guinea pig! Dude, do you get that? I don't even know what I was saying now because this guinea pig keeps yelling at me because he wants bell pepper and I haven't gone to the store to get him bell pepper yet. So let's go outside and look at this Del Sol really quick. So yeah, like I said, this is my brother's Del Sol. It is a 94, I believe, SI. I didn't really check the VIN to be honest, but it has rear disc brake, so you know, either SI or S with disc brake conversion. But basically, so let's show you the engine really quick. I'm not going to be super into detail on it because I don't know all the details. This I do know is a Vitara build. It was professionally built. My brother didn't build it. I didn't build it, obviously, otherwise I would have filmed it. It was built by a guy out here that is locally known for being like the best Honda builder. I trust him. He seems like a very knowledgeable guy. He has a big shop in his backyard with tens and tens of thousands of dollars of machining equipment, and he's very, very knowledgeable. So I trust his work. But this is a 0 mileage engine now. It's got brand new everything, like every single gasket, seal, ring, bearing, you name it, everything in here is built. So it is a Vitara build. I don't know all the details of what's in the bottom end or the top end to be exact. I know it's like Crowler everything, I think. I don't remember. Brian Crowler everything. You know, the Gates kit, you know, adjustable cam gear. It is turbo, so if you guys see the intercooler, if you saw the intercooler in the B-roll shots, it is a turbo engine. Obviously you saw the turbo over here as well. So this turbo actually happens to be bad, so I do have a new turbo on the way for him. And then, you know, that Greddy Type S blow-off valve, the one that I freaking looked forever for when I had my Miata, so kind of jealous of that. I love the way that thing sounds. But yeah, so basically, again, we already took this engine out. This thing's been sitting for months now outside of his apartment, and I helped him pull the motor. I didn't ever film it. I wanted to, but it was middle of summer and very hot. Didn't want to do it, just needed to get it done to take the engine to the builder. Now that we have the engine back, it is my task to put it all back in here and get this thing basically ready to turnkey and fire, so that way we can either A, have the engine builder come out and try and break it in for us, because neither of us have done it before. Not gonna lie, kind of scared. This is a lot of money in this engine. My brother's like $8,000 into this between parts and labor with everything. Freaking battery pack died, I apologize. But basically my job is to clean everything out, get the engine and everything in there, get it all, like I said, ready to turnkey. And then ideally this thing is built to handle, I want to say 500 to 600 horsepower. Obviously I'm not going to make that much on a cast log manifold. He's hoping for a solid like 350. But we'll see. I mean, I know that the restriction is in the manifold. It does have external wastegate and all that. I don't know what spring is in there, but that's not the point. It's built to handle as high as it needs, as high as he'll ever need it to be, but we're not going to make that much for now, for a good long while, because this is going to be his basically fun, not daily, because he has a better daily. He has like a Genesis for daily, but you get it. Fun car that he can drive whenever he wants. For this video, because he doesn't have the flywheel on hand, so tomorrow I'm going to be assembling that stuff together, getting the intake manifold and everything put on. But for the meantime, we can go ahead. Obviously, you know, the boys down at Super Clean hook us up, so support your boys and go get some Super Clean using the Amazon affiliate links in the bio. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead, try and degrease some of this crap, because it is nasty in here. It's been sitting for months, like I said. And I'm going to hook up the pressure washer, and we're going to get this thing washed out and try and clean up the transmission as well while I'm at it. After a bath of backsplash, this thing is finally about as clean as it's going to get. I'm not going to go into super great detail, seeing as it's obviously not my car, it's my brother. And if he wants it any cleaner, he is an automotive detailer, so he can do it himself. But engine obviously already clean. That was all hot tanked and all that. As for the transmission casing, I got this thing pretty darn clean. Obviously not perfect, especially the inside, but way, way better than it was before. And on that note, I will catch up with you guys tomorrow when the flywheel gets dropped off, when he brings that over, and we can start putting everything together before we get ready to drop it in the car.
Tomorrow for sure.
Fast forward like 2 days now, my brother has dropped off his resurfaced flywheel. I don't know if this is the OEM one or if it is a aftermarket one that was already on the car, and he just resurfaced to be sure it was fresh. But we got the hardware for it, the bolts. This is a spec clutch, never heard of them, but also I don't really do clutch brands a whole lot. I learned my lesson. That one runs an eBay one. My Del Sol ran an eBay, and then
Exidy, my Miata ran an eBay, blew that one up, and then did a Super Miata one, and the S2000 one is still the OEM one. So I don't really know clutch brands all that well, but it's got everything we need. The tool, even though I've got like 23 of these already, pilot bearing, sorry, throw bearing and pilot bearing. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to try and find a way to prop the engine up on something, so that way I can try and get the flywheel bolted up and then get the clutch torqued down. And then we can start trying to slap that transmission on right here. Looking all nice and fresh now. Got nothing for leverage. Yeah. Unfortunately, this bolt right here is snapped off, so I can't put the upper timing cover on until I get this out. So I'm gonna try and drill it out. Okay, so the bolt ended up pushing itself, what was left of it at least, way back in there, and I tried drilling it out, tried using the extractor bit, it would not come out. So I went ahead and retapped the rest of the hole that I could and got a bolt that was just long enough to get a couple threads in where I was able to retap. And then on this side, because there is no nut inside the plastic housing here, just nut and bolted it. It should be good. Doesn't look like it's hitting the belt or nothing. So we should be good there. Yeah, looks like we got clearance. So moving forward, got starter on, obviously transmission, clutch, flywheel, pilot bearing, throw bearing.
So next I'm going to try and do the alternator and then start working on some of the other accessories like the intake manifold, waiting on spark plugs, and then do the oil filter relocation, slap the oil filter on, and such and such. So I've got this engine basically put back together. The only piece that I gotta finish putting on right at the moment is the turbo and the manifold, because I think it's gonna be easier to put that on with it out of the car. And I have a concern about this oil line. So you just saw me hook up the oil line, but before it was teeing off the oil pressure sensor using the brass fitting, my brother's decided to upgrade to a sandwich plate, and it's a tight fit on these D-series blocks. And so the issue with that is obviously I had to move the oil line, the feed, and I'm concerned it's gonna not fit. So we might have to end up replacing it, but in the meantime, until that is figured out, I'm going to try and figure it out and put this all together and see if it fits, because it was a really snug fit. I only saw it for like 2 seconds when I removed this all in the first place, so I don't know how tight of a fit it was. But let's finish bolting up this manifold and stuff, and then probably end up wrapping up this video, because this thing will be about ready to actually drop into the car. Alright, the problem being that the oil feed was way down here, kind of tucked in there, and it circulated around the backside of the manifold here. So I just, well, we have plenty of space. It's just a matter if I can get this thing to actually, oh, you know what? I think we're okay, actually. So it'll be tied up out of the way. I'll be sure to use those little things for the conduit things that you can tie the cables. I don't know what they're called. I use them on my car all the time, but I can tie the oil feed line out of the way. So I'm gonna lightly thread it on here because we are gonna be swapping out the turbos. This one is bad. I do recall the turbo itself also had some issues, I guess, and it's just an eBay turbo, so we got another one on the way. So I'm gonna just make sure, double check that the fitting actually fits on there, just to be extra safe, and wrap this up. All right, well, the engine is ready. You got the turbo feed line all plumbed up. Again, like I said, it's gonna change the turbo, waiting on that to come in. So I'm just gonna, that should be in sometime this week, and I can change it on the car, it's not a big deal. Obviously, I'm gonna just end up pulling the whole manifold out. I put the manifold on with a couple of nuts. But yeah, so that is going to wrap this video up from here. So hopefully you guys did enjoy it. On the next video, we will get this thing actually put into the car, and then it's going to be a couple videos, I'm sure, until we fire it up. Still unsure because, again, neither of us have ever started a brand new motor, done any of that. We're going to have to figure out a base map situation. So yeah, I don't know when exactly it'll fire up. It'll be very soon, but just not this video, obviously, or next. But it will be happening soon, and then obviously I'm going to be videoing at the dyno and stuff, so be looking out for that. If you did enjoy the video though, please be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you have considered subscribing by now, hanging out with my ugly face. And if you want to help support the channel, guys, you can buy merch and stuff at the Big Cartel. My DA bars, EG bars should be available in the next like week or two. And also those Amazon affiliate links, if you click on those, it'll take you to a product. You don't necessarily have to buy that product, just use that link and then go search for whatever you need, even if it's toilet paper or like some pens for schooling or something, and then just buy it using those links. That helps me out with some compensation. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me. Do what you love, forget about the rest, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.